Alright, so in this video, I kind of wanted to touch on some topics that people had recommended for me. I asked if there were any specific topics or anything that people wanted me to talk on. I got quite a few responses, so I'll start off with apologizing. I haven't been able to respond to a lot of them, but I have read them. So don't think that your comments, your messages have gone completely unnoticed. They haven't. It's just really hard for me to respond to everything. I just started working at a new job, so I have a lot of stuff I've been doing. I've been working on certifications, and most of my free time is spent reading or taking these classes or whatever else I have going on. So it's been a little difficult to reply to everyone. And then also, while I'm on this topic and I'm remembering, if you're going to message me, please make sure that your settings are set to open or whatever it is so that other people can send you messages. There's been so many messages that I read, and I wanted to respond so bad, but I couldn't, just simply because of your settings. So if you're going to message someone, me or anyone on YouTube, make sure that your settings are open so that you can also receive a response. So there's really only two topics that I felt completely confident speaking on, and I thought they were great ideas. So the first one is keeping a journal. Keeping a journal can be beneficial for so many different things, whether you're trying to really solidify your ability to astral project or to lucid dream. If that's your aim, keeping a journal works wonders. Marking down when you have certain experiences, whether it be sleep paralysis or an actual astral projection, or whether or just writing down your dreams in general. If you're really working on lucid dreaming and astral projection, I would strongly recommend documenting all of your dreams. A journal helps so much, and you can write down on there, whenever you're recording a dream, you can also write down what kind of moon cycle we're in, and as time progresses, you'll be able to see whether or not you're more active or less active as far as intuitionally, or psychically, or just more open in general. You'll be able to find out what times of the year you're more open and you're more sensitive, and you'll be able to figure out what times of the year you're less sensitive. You'll also be able to find out whether or not the moon cycle has any kind of effect on your ability to remember your dreams or your ability to control them. So keeping a journal for those types of reasons, it helps wonders. I've been doing that for a couple years, and even just writing down your normal dreams, a lot of the times, you'll probably, I'm betting a good majority of people who start journaling their dreams, I'm betting that a good majority will find that when they read back through their journal, quite a few of their dreams were psychic dreams. And then when the actual event plays out, they just don't remember that they already dreamt it. Some people do, and they get that sense of deja vu, but others don't. I've had that happen to me a couple times where I wrote down all my dreams, and then one day I sat down and I was just reading through my journal, and I stumbled upon a couple dreams that I had that I wrote down that ended up happening, and it ended up happening a year later or something like that. And because there was such a huge gap in time, I didn't even remember that I had dreamt it when it happened. So keeping a journal is helpful for reasons like that. And then also, if you're going to do a dream journal and you're working on astral projection and lucid dreaming, I strongly recommend using a journal for writing down your personal thoughts too. The more balanced you are internally and in your own life, in your own mind, the more balanced you are and the more control you have in your own life, you'll find that you have way more control in other aspects of life as well. So the more you regulate your thoughts, the more you regulate your reactions to things, you gain a sense of control on your life and the world you live in. And that control will carry over into this dreamland or in these other dimensions. It's once we get that kind of thought process really ingrained in our mentality where, we're, let's scratch what I was going to say after that. So once you get yourself in this balanced state of mind and you're able to really regulate your thoughts, you gain far more control in the dreamland. That's one thing that I noticed I did struggle with. A lot of my dreams were out of my control, to where even when I knew I was dreaming, I couldn't control it. I'd try to control whatever was happening, or I'd try to stop something from happening, or I'd try to make something happen, and I couldn't. I had this sense of no control at all. And I realized that those dreams were more dominant when I felt like I didn't have a sense of control of my life in the real world. So it does carry on into the dreamscape. So keeping a journal to log your feelings, your thoughts on things, that works wonders for, like I said, a myriad of reasons. So keeping a journal helps you to see yourself from another person's perspective. It helps you to see the big picture of things, which is great for growth, obviously. But yeah, so a journal is a fantastic idea. I recommend that to everyone and anyone, whether you're just trying to grow as a person, or you're trying to grow spiritually as a person, or you're just trying to become better just to become better. Whatever your reason be, a journal is a fantastic idea. And if you're worried about someone reading it, just hide it in a little safe place. That's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world if someone sees your thoughts. Anyway, so we'll go past that. So journal, great idea. And then the other topic I wanted to talk on was listening to your intuition. So really learning how to listen to your intuition. We all have intuition. We all have psychic abilities to a certain extent. It's just whether or not we know how to listen to our intuition and really decode our psychic notions that just kind of pop up. So listening to your intuition, easier said than done. Like I said, we all have an intuition. It's just whether or not we know how to listen to it. So often, with more people than not, the case is that we have this intuitional inkling, this little voice that says, like, let's say you're about to do something, and you get this inkling, like, no, don't do a bad idea. Instantly, right after we get that intuitional inkling, no, this is a bad idea, don't do that, bad. Once we get that inkling, our subconscious reaction instantaneously kicks in, and we start justifying our own reasons why that little inkling is wrong, why we should continue doing what it is we want to do. So often we ignore our intuition because what we want is in conflict with what's best. And I know a lot of the times we like to think that we know what's best for ourselves, but we really don't. And this is why life throws in all these crazy things, because it knows what we need. And if we're on a crummy path heading in the wrong direction, and no matter how much we know it, we still think we can get away with it, life is going to throw you curveball after curveball after curveball until you catch on to the fact that, shit, I've been doing the same nonsense over and over and it just isn't working. I need to start heading in this direction. Life knows what we need way more than we know. We just simply want things. We desire things for, more often than not, superficial reasons. It's going to benefit us to do this or to have this person around or whatever it is, but it's not what's better. It's not what's best for everyone involved. So learning to listen to your intuition. My best advice for learning how to listen to your intuition, and I'll start off with saying this, it's a huge and long, sometimes painful process. It's really hard to get yourself in the habit of instantly listening to that little voice, that little inkling. So example, I don't know how many times I've been traveling out of town and I'll have everything packed, everything that I need for the area that I'm going to. Let's say it's really cold. It's a really cold place or something that I'm going to. And I'm packing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden I get this inkling, bring a tank top, bring your bathing suit, bring your sandals. And then I think, why the hell would I do that? We're not going to be going swimming. It is freezing. And I'll ignore it, and I'll leave that stuff there, and sure enough, I'll get there, and we'll end up going somewhere warm. Or it'll be a warm week, freakishly enough. It would have been blizzards the whole week before, and then all of a sudden that week it's like this hot stretch. And I don't know how many times things like that have happened to me. Or I've had this inkling, oh, bring this. Or bring something random, like a random book or something. And I think, well, I'm not gonna have time to sit down and read a book. I'm gonna be a friend, so why would I bring my book? And then all of a sudden I'll get there, I'll start having a conversation with someone, and they'll start talking about whatever it is that I'm reading about. And it's one of those situations where I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had brought my book. It's perfect for this conversation. I could show you, look, you know what I mean? And I don't know how many times that's happened. So getting yourself in the habit of following and doing whatever it is that little inkling says. So even if it's something simple, like you're driving home from work, you know, you take the same route every day. It's really fast, it's really easy, really quick. But for some reason you get an inkling, go down this road. Just do it. You know, you don't need a justification for why you should do it. Just get yourself in the habit of when you get that inkling, just do it. Let's say you're driving home and all of a sudden someone says, turn left on this road. And then you think, well, I've never gone down that road. What do I need to go down that road for? No, I just need to get home. And you ignore it and you keep going. Instead of doing that, listen to it. More often than not, you'll find that whenever you do that, you run into someone you know, or someone you've been thinking about, or you find something that you've been looking for, whether it be a store that has something that you've been searching for in all these other stores and haven't been able to find, or you'll avoid some kind of accident or something like that. You know, you'll avoid a traffic jam, things like that. More often than not, you'll find that that little inkling takes you to where you wanted to be, or takes you to something that you needed to reach without you even knowing it. And if we had relied entirely on what we know, oh, this is the best path, this is what I take every time, blah, 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 then many times we miss that opportunity. So practice listening to that inkling. When you're traveling somewhere and you get this inkling, oh, grab that book, or grab that box, or grab those glasses, or grab your super glue, and it's just random inkling, and then you think, what do I need that for? Just right then and there, the second you start questioning, wait, why would I do that? No. The second you start having that argument in your head, get yourself in the habit of going, oh, whoa, wait. Don't argue with it. Just listen to it, just to see where it takes you. And even if nothing happens, get yourself in the groove of listening to that inkling. Trust me, it's really hard. At least for me. For me, it's been really hard, to where I'll get that inkling, and even to this day, I'll get that inkling, and then I'm in a hurry or something, so I'll go, no, I'll leave it. And I'll get to work, or I'll get wherever I'm going, and then I realize, wow, I should have freaking grabbed that. That would have came in really handy right now. I don't know why I ignored myself. So really get yourself in the habit of just following that inkling, even if it means taking your drive home 2 minutes further than what it normally takes, or whatever it be. Get yourself in the habit of just doing it when you get the inkling, and that'll get you to the point where you start listening to your intuition a little more. It'll get you in tune with it, everything else. So I'm gonna cut this short. Shortest video I think I've ever made. So yeah, keep a journal. Fantastic idea for everything and anything dream related or just life related. Keeping a journal is a great idea. Documenting everything. Remember to write down the moon cycle and everything that kind of relates to it. Maybe also, well, if you use it as a personal journal also, you'll figure out if stresses kind of affect it, which stress does affect your dreams. And it affects your ability to control your dreams. That is true. It's very, very, very true. So if you want to learn how to control anything, you have to first learn how to control your own life. So from the internal to the external, Or I guess even vice versa, learning how to control the external, which you can't completely control the external, but you can control your reactions to the situations you get thrown into. You can control the way you handle it. You can control the state of mind that you remain in after something happens. Keeping a journal does help wonders, like I said, with that, because you're able to evaluate yourself from the outsider's perspective. And that is one of the most important things in self-development and in growth. It's really being able to see yourself from the eyes of another, not just your own perspective. So, journal, practice on listening to your intuition. I'll probably make another video soon, maybe on dreaming. I kind of like the whole dreaming subject, so I'll probably go a little more into that one. But yeah, I'll cut it short right there. If you guys have any more ideas or comments or whatever else, feel free to comment or message. Like I said, I've been having trouble responding to messages. Some people, their settings are put to where I'm unable to message you back. So do be aware of that. Like I said before, I'll keep trying to really, get in the groove of checking my YouTube more often and taking the time to respond. Sometimes I do read a lot of the comments and messages, and I'm just at a loss for words. I can't really formulate my thoughts properly, so I think, oh, I'll just respond later when I'm able to really kind of figure out exactly what it is I want to say. And then I'll get caught up doing something, whatever. And I end up forgetting. So I do that. I really am trying not to. It's difficult. But yeah, so practice listening to that inkling. When you're driving down the street and something says, turn right, even though you normally don't, just turn right. Just do it. Meh. We got all the time in the world, right? Or maybe you don't, but you do. Maybe you do, but you don't. I'm thinking you do. But yeah, so if you're worried that you don't have enough free time to journal, you can always do it for the 10 minutes that you would normally spend sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix. Rather than doing that, just write down a few thoughts, a passage on what happened throughout the day. Did anything significant happen? Any dreams? Whatever. And then, I can't remember if I said this earlier, but if you're worried about journaling your dreams and that being too much, as far as, you wake up in the morning and you think, I'm way too freaking tired to start writing down everything that I just dreamt. This handy-dandy mobile device of a cell phone works wonders. Everyone has a voice recorder on their phones. So if you wake up in the morning and you're too tired to write, which is me every single morning, just turn on your voice recorder, record your dream, and then you can just write it down later. And it has the date and everything else, and it works wonders. So if I didn't say that earlier, remember, you don't have to write it down right away. So don't use your tired, groggy laziness as an excuse to dismiss writing it down, because many times, if you don't document it in some way, whether it be turning on your phone, recording it, and then going back to sleep, if you don't write it down right away, many times we forget the dream. No matter how much we tell ourselves we're going to remember it, we forget big chunks or we forget the whole thing entirely. So if you're too lazy to write in the morning, just record it in your phone, write it down later. But yeah, so thank you again, everyone, for all your support and your comments and your messages. Whether they're positive or they're negative, I really do enjoy reading them all, and I love that people care enough to actually go out of their way and send me messages or comment on my videos, whether it be a doomsayer or whatever. You're taking the time and putting in the consideration to sit down and write something to me. So for that, I am grateful. So for that, I thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to cut this short. It went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I think an extra 5 minutes. Okay, yeah. So messages, comments, I will keep trying to respond. I'll keep trying to post videos. And in the meantime, I love you all.